for her sort of reflection on what she finds in it. Thank you.
I really don't want to follow that because that was really good. And I've never heard her speak for that long, so now I'm very nervous. But Vaishali definitely covered a lot of the bigger themes and philosophies of Hinduism. My story is a little bit more of a very personal one. So, I was born to immigrant parents, both of whom had grown up within a South Indian Orthodox Hindu household structure. Different trajectories placed them on starkly different paths, and by the time I arrived, my parents were on completely different religious terms, with my mother practicing Baptist Christianity and my father remaining a devout Hindu. Some might say religion and culture are inseparable concepts for Indian families. In this case, our households will still maintain under an Indian Hindu framework, but one major point of contention kind of arose later on, threatening to upset the balance. How would the children, which was my sister and I, be raised? From preschool, my sister and I attended Heritage Christian School, which was a small private institution with ties to a Baptist church. We grew up with daily Bible lessons and Christian values imbibed throughout the curriculum. And when we got home, my father, he told us countless stories of the divine and taught us Sanskrit verses from many religious texts, many like the ones she talked about, from the Gita and the Vedas, in the same manner as his father before him. So both these identities, my Hindu and Christian identity, they continue to grow while also increasing my religious confusion as I grew into late childhood. So reflecting now, I understand that both Hinduism and Christianity are not totally opposite faiths. They're not on two ends of the spectrum. There are so many similarities and shared values, with one and really important aspect being God's boundless love for his children. At the time, however, it was a little bit difficult for me to reconcile both. So where would I place my allegiance, with my mother or my father? And there are both familial and afterlife consequences of the decision, burdens which are heavy for a young person. Despite asking Jesus to be my savior, which I had been taught was the correct way to salvation, I felt no peace and assurance, which were feelings very much exalted by my teachers and my pastor. And I continued to adhere to the Christian faith with the hope that everything would eventually kind of fall into place. But my mother continued to be a great example of Christianity, a hardworking and steadfast woman who had converted in her late teenage years after she had moved to the U.S. On the other hand, I also had a soft spot for Hinduism, as it was my father's tradition and had a pretty equivalent influence on my life. My conflict was placed on hold, however, when my mother fell sick. My mother was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer in January 2004 when I was 11. She was sick for 17 months and passed away in May of 2005 when I was 13 years old. All my religious reflection and conflict, it kind of took a backseat to concern and family. So after her passing, we left for India right away, 2 days later, and I witnessed a 13-day-long ceremony which changed my religious perception completely. Preparations were made for her transportation to other spiritual planets, with an eventual destination of Vaikuntha, or eternal heaven. The process really heightened my curiosity about all aspects of Hinduism. I still had many questions in my mind. Why are we on this earth? Why are some people better off than others? How could a God who is all-loving and benevolent exclude some of his children from his abode? All of these and more were answered with further inquiry. In Hinduism, all beings, from plants to animals to humans, they have souls, and they assume their forms according to their good and bad deeds in their past lives, or as we just spoke about, karma. If you have done more bad than good, you might assume a lower form, such as a bug. Or if you've done more good than bad, you might be a human. So I was saying that sometimes when I get upset with people, I just imagine that they'll be born with a bug in their next life. That makes me feel a little better. The faith also explains a sweeping spectrum of privilege on which all humans and creatures fall. All souls should work for salvation by remembering God and living a holy life. If a soul does not achieve salvation, it must endure penance and reap fleeting rewards between lives. However, the hope for liberation never disappears completely. There is always a chance to connect eternally with the divine. After coming back to America and continuing my studies, I decided to officially convert to Hinduism. So over the years, My life has been colored by a myriad of both positive and negative events. Throughout all of them, my faith initially challenged, it wavers, but then it bites hammered by reality, but it always eventually strengthens and carries me through. One aspect of Hinduism which I really admire is it allows you to kind of change your adherence. Like, there's so many ways to kind of practice. So according to the situation, I'm able to partake in the faith in a specific way. So if so inclined, I can engage through text by reading different, like the Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. I can play and sing divine music or bhajans, or I can listen to a lecture by a prominent scholar who can give me a different perspective on things. And there's no correct or absolute way to participate, which is something I truly appreciate. After all, we're all unique beings with different personalities, preferences, and experiences. Coming to college has given me an incredible opportunity to engage with a variety of faiths and really strengthen my own. After about 3 years of Brandeis, I have learned a great deal about Judaism and engage in conversation about the faith with my Jewish friends. I feel like I know a lot more than other Jewish people at Brandeis. Learning so much. They're always so surprised. But my Christian and Hindu background has given me a true passion for learning about different faiths. Information, like your faith, provides so much insight into people's passions and their motivations. I have also had the privilege of working on the board of Namaskar, the Hindu, Jain, and Sikh organization of Brandeis. All of these interactions have made me appreciate both my own experiences and seeing really true beauty and knowledge and similarities of all these paths. So the question that Vaishali emailed to me was, what about being Hindu is valuable to you? And Lord knows I've taken a really long time to get here, but let me sum it up for you. So being Hindu has given me an insight into why the world works as it does, an appreciation for all people, and an understanding that I can have a direct impact on my life path and my actions. All beings are worthy of love and time, and we are all equals and connected, despite these temporary manifestations into different forms. I love my faith as it lends to my belief that we are all on different roads leading to the same glorious destination, wherever that may be, and to reach the one from whom we